Alright, I'm going to do a little video on a homemade canoe rack or holder. Something you can do at home to keep your canoe off the ground so it doesn't kill the grass or get rotted animals building nests inside of it. This is what it looks like with the canoe on. I do plan to take a rope or chain around the middle seat there and that crossbar to lock the canoe in so that nobody could steal it. But fortunately we don't live in a high crime area, but if you do live in some area that you're worried about it, that is an option to secure the canoe. So I'm going to take the canoe off the rack and show you a little closer what I did to make it stable and strong. Alright, so first things first, I use pressure treated wood. These posts here are 4x4 pressure treated. This one as well. This is a 2x10 pressure treated. Now the reason I use this kind of wood is not any particular reason except that it's what I had at home already, so I didn't have to purchase it. This is a 2x6. Now this was a 8-foot long post I cut in half. I dug an 18-inch hole and sunk each post in with a half a bag of concrete. So it's about 25 pounds of concrete on each of these posts. Now, to hold this crossbar in, I use 2 L brackets, one here and one there per side. Got 2 through bolts or carriage bolts holding this crossbar in. These are 2 eye bolts. These are what I use to wrap the bungee cord or strap the canoe securely. Now, it's important to make sure that your project is level, so while you're doing it, or before the concrete sets, make sure that you have everything level, you know, within the tolerances. That's an important thing to keep in mind. I mean, maybe it's not completely important if you don't mind it being a little crooked. I imagine there's some room for play because all you're doing is holding a canoe. We're not exactly building a house here, but that's how I used my spare wood to create a rack to keep the canoe off the ground. The one thing I would suggest, regardless of what kind of wood you plan to use, is something larger than a 2x4. If you plan to run 2 through bolts, I would suggest at least a 2x6 so you can get these 2 in here and without splitting the wood. What I used before I drilled the holes was I put in this 3-inch drywall screw so that I could shift the wood level. I pre-drilled my holes in this 2x10, so all I had to do was go through the 4x4 with the drill bit and bolt it in, so it's pretty easy to make it level without too much trouble. I hope this is of some help to you if you're planning on making your own canoe storage. One thing I need to be sure to mention to you is that the canoe I have is a 14-foot 6-inch canoe. That middle 2x6 that goes between the 2 T-bars is 7 foot. I cut down from 8. So if you've got a 15-foot canoe or a 16-foot canoe beyond, I'm sure that an 8-foot 2x6 or 2x4, whatever you decide to use between here, would be fine. The rest of it would just be measuring to your particular canoe size.